Why was the police officer pulling him over in the first place or attempting to pull him over? I don't do drugs. I don't belong in a gang and I don't commit crimes. And you know what? Why were you traveling on the wrong side of the road?
I wasn't traveling on the wrong side of the road.
Why she should give you deferred as opposed to making you serve a sentence.
Calling 2023 CR 7883 and 2023 CR 7884 State versus Camillus Galvan. Can I have parties announced?
Raymond Martinez for Mr. Galvan.
And are you Mr. Galvan?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest in each of these cause numbers. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. The state opposes your applications and each cause number. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
I have, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. Any objections to the PSI report?
Your Honor.
Any witnesses?
Judge, I think I'd like to call Mr. Galvan's mother just to
Sure.
talk about something that came up in the PSI.
All right, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
I'm Ruby Galvan.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Ms. Galvan, first thing I want to start with is, have you ever had difficulty with Camillus in terms of him violating the law, like what happened in this situation?
No, sir.
From the time he was a juvenile up until becoming an adult, has he given you trouble at home?
No, he has not.
Okay, so was this situation a surprise to you and the family when you found out that he'd gotten arrested?
Yes, it was a big surprise to me.
Okay. Since he's been on bond, has he followed all the rules of the court?
Yes, he has.
Okay. And how long has it been since we've been litigating this case?
This month will be 2 years now.
Okay. And has he complied with all the conditions of his probation? I mean, his pretrial,
Yes, he has,
including the monitor?
including the monitor.
Has he had the monitor the entire time that he's been out of custody?
No, sir.
So when did it go on? When did they put it on?
They put it on as soon as everything happened. So possibly he was on monitor for about 2 weeks, if I can recall.
Okay. So I'm talking about the ankle monitor that he has on his leg.
He does not have an ankle monitor.
Okay. I was confused with that. Okay. And how long did he spend in jail before he was released on bond?
From what I recall, it was about 5 or 6 months.
Was that done intentionally by you and his father so he would learn a lesson, or was there a reason why he stayed in jail that long?
So I've never gotten in trouble with the law. So when I'm raising my boys, I told them, you know, your choices are your own. Like, they're not mine. Never put that on me. But I did tell them that. I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Did y'all purposely leave him in jail for a while before you bonded him out?
Yes, so I told his father that he did need to learn his lesson because he didn't have a reason to run away from the police. He had a driver's license. He had just graduated. That's why he got a vehicle. We bought him a vehicle. And prior to that, somebody had took his license plate from the back and we had made a police report that he couldn't drive the car until we got a new license plate, and he didn't follow that. He didn't listen to me when he told him to not drive that vehicle.
So the only issue that was going on that day was that the car that he was driving didn't have the correct plates on it.
Yeah, it was missing a plate in the back.
And it wasn't because the car wasn't legal or registered, because somebody stole the plate.
Yeah, somebody stole the plate. It wasn't, none of that was the reason.
And you had asked him to not use the car until that got fixed.
Correct, because we made a police report about the license plate missing in the back.
Okay. Now, has there been an incident in the past where a family member of his or somebody close to him had some bad experiences with the police?
Well, we have a family history with my siblings, and it's just my side of the family. They're always doing things that they're not supposed to be doing.
Okay. Well, there's a particular reason, if you know, why Camillus might have been afraid to have an interaction with a police officer.
Yeah, so he always hears about, just on TV, I guess, what they watch on the social media, that, officers shooting individuals for no reason, sometimes just things like that.
Okay, but nothing of personal experience on his part because he's never been in trouble with the law. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did you know that he was with his cousin that day?
No, I did not. I was at work.
Okay, so was his cousin supposed to be with him or was his cousin supposed to be in school?
His cousin was supposed to be at school from, his cousin lived nearby, but his cousin was supposed to be at school testing, I believe.
Okay, and so that's another thing that maybe he didn't want to get discovered, that basically his cousin was playing hooky and he was helping him do that.
That's not what it was. My nephew had been back and forth for the past week. His parent had kicked him out and he was staying at a cousin's house nearby. And I know that they had been seeing him during that week, just driving him back and forth to school.
So Camillus was doing him a favor to get him to school.
Correct.
Okay. To your knowledge, had he been using any substances or drinking or anything like that when he was driving that day?
No.
Okay. And he's still in time.
Correct.
Okay. Now, I've read in the PSI report that you might be undergoing some medical issues at this time. Is that right?
That's correct.
Can you tell the judge about that?
Oh yeah. In September, I got Bell's palsy, so the right side of my face went totally paralyzed all the way down to my neck. So I'm still going through therapy and all that for that reason.
Has Camillus been helping you with that?
Oh yeah, he's been driving me to all my therapy appointments. I just went back to work in February, so with my little things here and there, he'll drive me to work and back. But I'm able to drive myself now. But when everything happened, I couldn't even speak. Most of my vision was very blurry and always running, like my eyes was tearing a lot. So he did a lot of driving for me.
If he's granted probation by this court, is he allowed to continue to live in your home?
Oh yes, me and his father fully support him.
Are you confident that he will comply with any conditions imposed by the court?
Oh yes, he will. He's been doing that for the past 2 years now.
Anything else about him that you would like the court to know before she makes her decision about what to do with his case?
Camillus was 18 at the time, and I know that, his thought process is still pretty young. He's still young. He's about to be 21 in July. He's done everything that he was supposed to do when he was in high school. He's graduated. I'm really proud of him because coming from a family of 10, I was the first to graduate class. The 10, I was child number 6, and I always wanted my son to kind of follow my footsteps. And he's my firstborn, so he graduated like he was supposed to. So he's never done anything bad. He's always helping the neighborhood, helping the neighbors. All the kids play basketball in front of our house because they're good role models. So that's how I raised them to be.
That's witness judge.
State.
Ms. Galvan, so you stated the car that your son was driving on the date of the offense, that was a car that you and his father bought him?
That's correct. Yeah, I remember graduating.
Okay, and so there was an incident there, you didn't have a license plate, is that correct?
Correct, that was the week prior. We had a police report that it was missing.
Okay, and so if I'm understanding correctly, you had instructed him to not drive the motor vehicle until you were able to obtain the new plates, and he did not follow your instructions.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, regarding his cousin, Damian Borjas, are they related through you or through your husband?
They're related to my sister, my son.
Okay, so Damian is your blood nephew.
Correct.
Okay, and he was 16 years old at the time, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and so I guess he was kind of down and out at the time, right? Because he got kicked out, he didn't have a place to stay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have you heard that your son, Camillus, initially instructed Damian to lie and say that he was the one driving because he was a juvenile, and Camillus thought that the law would be easier on him for punishment? Were you aware of that?
At the time, I was not until everything happened, and then I was very sad to hear that my nephew was in juvenile, knowing the fact that the situation was already in that week, getting kicked out. My sister hasn't been in his life since he's been since his father got custody of him. So that made me really sad.
And I guess as a result of that, even though Damien wasn't driving, he had to stay in juvenile from May to August of 2023 until the authorities were able to further investigate and determine that Camillus was the driver of the vehicle. Were you aware of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at the time of the offense, was Camillus living with you?
That's correct.
Okay. And was he working?
Yes, he was working at Foot Locker.
Okay. And I guess, do you know why he was not at work that day, or what was he supposed to be doing instead of what was going on?
So he was supposed to be home. I don't think he was working on that day. Usually my sibling was the one picking up Damien back and forth that week.
Okay.
And I guess he knew that Damien needed to do STAR testing. I think so. I guess that's what he decided to go do it. It's close by, it was nearby. From what I.
And again, have you had an opportunity to review any of the evidence in this case?
We did. We saw a few of the videos.
Okay, and so are you aware of the injuries that the deputy sustained from the collision?
We did see some old video of him getting carried away. I think something on his knee.
Yeah, he had some lacerations. Correct.
I'm not sure what that is.
Do you recall if he was bleeding from anywhere?
I believe it's great.
So did you see the video where he was going to be hit and he was having issues breathing because he blacked out from the impact?
No, I did not.
I mean, do you think that's fair that he had to sustain that just because Camillus didn't feel like stopping and obeying the authorities on that day?
No, I did not.
Possibly.
Ms. Galvan, eventually the police came back and they tried to sort out who was driving the vehicle, correct?
That's correct.
And at some point, Camillus admitted that he was the one that was driving.
That's correct.
Is that right? So that his nephew wouldn't get stuck being prosecuted for something he didn't do.
That's correct.
And Camillus didn't do that because somebody forced him to. He volunteered to tell them, yes, it was me that was driving, it wasn't him.
Yes, that's correct. I always told him to speak the truth.
And in fact, when he did that, he probably didn't even have a lawyer at the time.
That is correct. He did not have a lawyer yet. We didn't have the funds to get a lawyer.
Do you remember what the circumstances were as to, did the police call him in for questioning? Did he go to their office? How did that happen?
I was at work again that day, and the police came so he was supposed to do, I guess, UA that day, and they called him in to question him. That's
So he went down to the pretrial to give a UA,
mhm,
and then the police decided to take advantage of that and question him about the case.
that's correct.
And it was in that setting, he didn't have a lawyer, correct?
That's correct.
And he voluntarily told them, hey, it was me driving, not my cousin.
That's correct.
And did Camillus relate that to you and his father after that happened?
Yes.
Okay. Does it surprise you that he did the right thing and admitted his responsibility in this case?
It didn't surprise me that he did the right thing. He knows that he needed to do the right thing.
Okay. And so you were perfectly fine with him doing that?
Well, not that they questioned him without a lawyer. I wasn't okay with that.
Okay. But you believe that's
Hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
It is called.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
And Mr. Galvan, you've already told the pre-sentencing officer at the probation your version of what took place, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So,
But I want to ask you some more questions about that. Okay. At the time you were driving, did you have a driver's license?
yes, sir.
Did the car have insurance?
Yes, sir.
What time of the day or night was it when the officers first attempted to pull you over?
So my cousin called me around I guess he woke up around 10. So he had to take a STAR test. So I would say around 11, that's when.
Okay. And what was your cousin asking you to do?
If I could take him to school because he needed to take a STAR test.
Okay. And I'm sure the judge knows what that is, but for the record, what is a STAR test?
It's a test that you need to take so you could be able to pass the next grade.
And what were you doing when he called you?
I was getting prepared to get ready for work, but I go to work around 3. So around that time, I start my morning.
Okay. And so where did the two of you decide to go after you picked him up?
We decided to get some breakfast, and we never made it there.
Okay. And so what was the circumstances, if you know, as to why the officer was pulling you over? What happened?
I really don't know. So prior to that, my car, we had an issue where my belt broke, and like honestly, I can't even be speeding. I wasn't doing nothing. So like we said that my license plate was stolen. So me thinking I could move my front plate to my back, the back of my car to my back plate, and so I could be able to take my cousin to school.
So it wasn't so much that you didn't want to do what your parents asked, but you needed to take that test.
Yeah.
Okay. So where were you roughly when you first noticed that the officer wanted you to pull over?
I believe I was. I'm honestly, I really don't remember.
Okay. Well, what general area of town are you at?
Southwest. I'm right there by the. I'm not sure the street, but I know I coming from Walmart towards. It's not sure the street.
Okay. Well, let me help you a little bit. So the biggest portion of the time when the officers are chasing you on Old Pearsall Road, is that right?
Oh yes.
Okay. And that's 410 and Highway 90 roughly. Is that correct?
Oh yes, sir.
Okay. And so initially you see the lights come on and you decide not to stop. What's going through your mind at that point?
Honestly, I didn't know there was a officer behind me. My car's tinted, so I can't really see behind. Like, I didn't see no lights.
Okay. So when did you at any point did you notice that the officer was behind you and wanted to pull you?
No, I didn't notice. The only time I noticed was whenever my cousin told me.
Okay. So when your cousin tells you, are you still on Old Pearsall Road?
Yes, I'm trying to make it home.
And where's home? Okay. And so why is it your decision to try to get home versus just to pull over and see what he wants?
Just scared.
Okay. Did you have any drugs or anything like that on you?
No.
Had you been drinking?
I don't do that. I don't.
Were you under the influence of any kind of drugs?
Oh no, sir.
Did you have any warrants? Okay. Did you have anything in the car that was illegal? What about your cousin?
Nope. My car was brand new. Like, I didn't have nothing in the car other than my insurance, the papers towards the car, nothing else.
Okay. Did they find, once you and your cousin got found and you got arrested, did either one of you get found with any contraband on you?
No, Your Honor. I mean, no, sir.
Okay. So let's talk about after you do realize that the officer is behind you, at some point, as you told the judge, you just kept going to try to make it to your house.
Yes.
And how far were you from your house when this accident occurred?
I didn't make it towards my house. I went a little bit further down.
Okay. So describe where, so the officer eventually tries to deploy spikes to stop your car. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And can you tell us more or less where that is in relation to Old Pearsall Road and 410?
It's just further down by Southwest, the high school. So it's like if you were gonna go straight down that way from the videos that he was on the phone with his wife or whatever, that he said he was okay.
So after you got put into custody, you could hear some of the radio transmissions.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you accept at this point, I mean, listen, obviously you should have pulled over when the officer wanted you to pull over.
Yes.
And though, even though you may not believe, you don't believe that you intended to hurt the officer, you understand your reckless driving had that consequence.
Yes.
And that's why you pled to this case.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And so during the time that you've been on pretrial, what conditions has the court had in place for you?
But during the time when I got out, I had to be on house arrest. I was on house arrest for 2 weeks until they came to pick me up again and take me back to jail with where I did 6 months. When I got out, they put me back on monitor. And I was on it for like at least a week, and until I got it taken out.
Okay. But did they make you report to pretrial?
Oh, yes, I report to pretrial every month.
Okay, and then do UAs?
Yes.
How many times have you been UA'd since you've been on pretrial? Do you think, roughly?
I would say at least 28 times.
Okay, any positives?
Oh, no, sir.
What about work? What have you been doing for work in this time?
I haven't been doing nothing.
Okay, and why haven't you been working?
Because during that time I was helping my mom.
What were you doing for work before this all occurred?
I was working at Kids Foot Locker.
Okay. Salesperson?
Yes, sir.
And is that job available to you again, do you think?
No, sir.
What do you have planned for the future in terms of work or school?
I wanna probably be a mechanic or own my own little business. I know my uncle started their own little business. I want to try to follow through that too.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell the judge about why she should give you deferred as opposed to making you serve a sentence?
During the time I was incarcerated, I don't want to be in jail. I've seen so much. I actually have uncles that were in prison. I had one that came out, and I never got to see him again.